So route B now. Oh, by the way, I'm extra Pepega today, so yeah. I already gave you guys a heads up about that. You want an explanation? You go for it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I thought you were going to say something else. Is there more to it? Here's it. This game is trash, but I still want to see Route B. You don't know what parts will be reviewed on the routes. That's fair enough. Badger is so rude. This is what I looked up all of it before I played Automata. Because I thought they were related. Oh, those credits though? I agree, Salatano. All the fishing. All the fishing endured. So I wonder what ending do you get if you like... Forrest the Myth, bro. Forrest the Myth, man. The paintings. The water. Oh man, that quest. North. East. North. East. What a time. It's a great place. It's a good time. Alpha, you get a different ending in Route A? Don't know much about the endings. I just saw the one you fight Kane Shade. Ah. Spoilers, Hafo! Spoilers. Wow, Hafo. You monster. Ooh, at least I beat the game before, well, one ending of the game before Biomutant. Are you able to unlock harder gameplay? I mean, there's some point that you fight on Kane's Shade, but I was curious what would lead up to it being relevant again in the future. Oh, not that many Z names. This is exit the clear data save screen. Exit the clear data save screen? Why does it say like that? Almost 60? I guess so. Load your clear data after completing the game to experience a departed mother's diary. Wardrobe has been added. New outfits could be obtained by progressing through a departed mother's diary. If only you had an eagle egg. I know, right?
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway...
Discrimination. The sound of rain filled the village. Steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour. It was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped, weathered vein at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vein, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. Go on! If it stays west, then I. The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the veins slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo! Kaine! The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave before she could get more than a few steps. The other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kane knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she has experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kane was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me. She lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt. Oh look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Connie prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless, a failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Kanye couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kanye's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kanye, he called to his cohorts. Come on guys, let's give the freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kanye. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kanye curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I'll get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kanye ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane, and continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. Kanye closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kanye was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Hey, Custom Bonger. Alright, Halo Combat. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kane. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a female dog, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you will ever touch my Kane again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You could count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into onto the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit with a rock, you stupid female dog. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words, locking his eyes on Kane. He took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Kane's grandma? Ha! Look at that fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. Woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kane. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders. Then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kane, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kane, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me here. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. Miss Kane's tears turned to sobs. She felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kane found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next. It grants no mercy to any that attempt to cross it. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? Old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kane. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kane was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. If I want to read a book, I'll just go to the library. These creators need someone talking to. Oh. Grandma, as Kane called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence. And their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kane and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kane truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kane's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not. Don't be a butt. Kane drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't. Hush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they could just go to heck. With that, The old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in the construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have troubled with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watch it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hits of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of crap axe. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma, called Kaine. That you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close, or I might take your gosh darn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma! Do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something. Axe poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. Old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for Shin smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a poor job of chopping, why do you come here? Why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of them. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with the wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her daughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of the land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke. The tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Darn, dang it, crap. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt, and a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough. My logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. Better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma. Old woman shook her head and pointed to a trembling finger at the bucket. The bucket. Can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress. But Kaine didn't notice. Grandma? Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with the panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop that. Just stop, she cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it would seem the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick. I need medicine. I'm going to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kane gently pushed her down. "It's all right," she said. "I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, god dang it. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." Old woman watched as Kane strapped on her boots and made her way to the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark sky, a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kane moved at brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kane finally found herself at the entrance of the village. The adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kane took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. "I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong." She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund, older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kane's presence. "Her lady. Hey, lady," said Kane with a bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. How dare this thing speak to me? They seemed to say. The Kane saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" Kane repeated. Woman pointed at a small building in her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kane cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. But the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers were nowhere to be found. "Oh my," he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kane happily ignored it, stretching on her tiptoes to see over the counter. She asked the shopkeeper for the medication. "Ha," barked Demo. That old female dog finally keeled over. "Go to heck, Demo." The boy's eyes grew so wide that seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. "You be back in 20 minutes? Alright, dude." I possibly, if this reading ends, I possibly might end before that point. But if it still keeps going, I'll be surprised. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kane under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. "This will take 20 minutes. I'm so thirsty right now. I'm like so parched. I'm there like, I think the end is close. taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, created a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kanye a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. This is just a prologue. On the far wall, behind the counter, rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The characters come out. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic and they were beginning to fade. The beauty, I'm already tired in general, but yeah. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You liked that picture? Kanye turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now. Connie didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. And before this is the entirety of Route B. Oh man. Pictures are wonderful things. Continued the shopkeeper. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. Shook his head slightly. Then he looked down at Kanye, smiled, handing her the medicine. He reached into a sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left, and I wish to draw. Kanye took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yeah, I heard the rumors about you, he said. It's a small village. Words travel quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know my grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of the town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali, thought Kanye suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. Your grandmother's an old fan of mine, he said as Kanye scooted away yet again, and I owe her much. Night night, Kenji. Hope you have a lovely one, dude. Wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kanye murmured a quiet agreement. But inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kanye returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were black and raw, and even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kanye to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandma's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked her grandma with a yawn. Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up, examined Kanye from head to toe, finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild. She leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Oh, how was it? Did it give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kanye with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, eh? Asked her grandma in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kanye removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandma that she was going to sketch her portrait. Jesus. Portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma will make you live forever. Horse crap, said her grandma, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just tick me off. Guess who's leading the score for Miami? Is it Duncan Robinson? Is it Jimmy? Is it Street? Is it everybody tied up? Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. Dwayne Deadman? Oof. But Kanye would not relent. And in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house as if posing for a master artist. Kanye took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as Grandma was about to nod off, Kanye finished the piece after staring at it for a bit. Richard point, would I rather listen to basketball talk than this? Oh yeah? You'd rather watch Minecraft. Paint dry on the wall. She released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. Sorry, Grandma. That's too far. Not the crayons would you know, make drawing easy or something. Old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. Sketch could be a person's face. Also could have been a boulder, lump of clay, an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. Old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kane, she said between laughter, you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kane would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kane could stand it no more, asked her grandma to take the artwork down. Posh! Alright, Cope, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kane and dropped to one knee. You know what? Pull up Minecraft. I'll watch. I don't think I even have Minecraft on my PC. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me... You'd rather see the Pontiac go back to space, wouldn't you, Badger? Makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. It makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. I definitely would. It was a moment that burned itself in memory. Do you want to play Minecraft, Fox? I don't know about that, Chief. Perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who made her place in the world. Don't business satch me. Time moves on. People and memories move in and out of life, ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kanye swore, because I'll remember it forever. Forever. All right. My face hurts. This is a novel. I'm literally reading the script. Oh, I can't. Oh my god. It's just, I can't. I can't do it. My face hurts. This is disc 2 of Xenogears. My mouth is so dry, it's like paragraphs. And they paid the voice actors. Alright, watch. You know the worst part about this? They're gonna probably have, like, questions at the end of this. They're gonna quiz me. They're gonna quiz me, man. I could sense it. Oh my god. Badger's like hoping the grandma just keels over and die already. Oh my god. Oh. There's so much to read. Oh man. My hands are just... They fell asleep. Grandma slip in the shower, break your neck. Woo! Those watching the VOD, yeah, skip over like an hour or something. Jesus. This is longer than my research paper, man. It possibly might be, to be honest. It's still going. You can't even like press start to skip. What is this? Oh, my face hurts, man. I just picture Badger like he's the actual shade. He's just choking out Grandma right now. It's like shh, 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 shh. Shut your mouth. Shh. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Whew. Oh. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Deleting this for Biome. Oh my god. Oh man. Woo! Boy. What's happening here, guys? Oh! Oh my god! Oh man. Now we know how Zanku felt like while frozen in stone.
The beast approaches. Oh, I know.
Oh my god. Godfather 3 is better than this. What's this angle right now? What the heck? Oh yeah. Fun times. It's been a while since we used Whirlwind.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
So is this grandma? This better not be grandma. Whew, boy. Almost forgot how to fight. I was waiting for so long I had to wake up my hands. I forgot this was a game. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just want to say. I just want to say. Oh my gosh. It's one of the last level for Dante's Inferno. He has to endure. Oh boy. I love you, but this is too much. Hey man. Take me out with you, bro. Hey, let me just get to the save screen, my dude. Come on. Come on. Don't just come on, man. Just let me out. I'm pulling the El Rey card. Just get me out. Oh my gosh. I'm okay, we speed running it now. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. We speed running it. I'm pressing A and B at the same time. Oh my god. Oh my god, it works. Voice actors.
Stay alive. Grandma. Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
When Emil sounds like your grandma, that's concerning. Eyes up here, chat. Ooh, boy.
Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you.
Up here, chat. Come on. Come on, chat.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Your webcam is down. Okay. Up here, chat. Yeah, that right there. Yeah. Your eyes got wide, girl.
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
Fox is in the
We are
frame.
still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness.
Oh, the voice actors just have it easy. They don't have to read a paragraph or a novel. They get like a couple
That
words.
is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all. Are you kidding me? You can't be serious.
Please try to understand. People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
This is crap, and you know it.
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But
We'll see you later.
Sorry about this.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
Yeah, we should. Been trying to do that for the last 30 minutes. What? What the heck?
Didn't get much sleep that night.
Oh my
For the
God.
first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola.
Never.
Those feelings are pointless in the end.
I make people's ears bleed, Ariser. You didn't get the moral of the
They said
story?
they did what they did for the sake of
I
the
made
village.
Mix leave. Badger is
Protect
literally
from the horror of the shades.
choking the screen to choke out the grandma.
Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad.
God.
Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's
Hey,
situation
Salute.
myself.
Oh my God. Just want to save. Just a happy drunk, oblivious to anything. Close
I
to
should
closing the
apologize to
tab.
Kaine and Emil.
And I'm about to close the tab too. Don't worry, Badger. Give me that save.
What good would that even do?
Give me that save.
Wait, is that...
If you start another
So
discussion,
happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad.
week's
you
over.
know?
Finally managed to quit properly. Congrats, Salute. I heard that, Fox. I said nothing, bro.
At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Up here, chat. Right now. Up here.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please.
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession.
If you tell the story of your grandma,
My body is different. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was, no matter how bad things got. She gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession and my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay, can we just forget I told you about that?
giving Kane warm water is the cure to her not petrification. Possession. Kind of a bad. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
Someone's been reading Dr. Stone. Actually,
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
wait a second. I still haven't read the super chapter. Oh, let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. And I just robbed my house again. What the heck?
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I have not.
She got the black scroll and died when I was little.
You better not read it. You better not read this.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's alright. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me
No.
that we're still a family.
No!
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, here,
No!
take a look.
No!
Say there.
All right. Game system said we saved. All right, we're rating chat. We're freaking rating. It said we saved, right? I hope it did, because we're rating. We're rating someone. Get us out. Get me out. Oh my god. Oh boy. We're gonna rate Oh man, it did, but you gotta make sure. Yeah, make sure, man. I just checked. I checked chat. I made sure. I made sure. And we gotta go. Holy fox, bro. Alright. Oh my god. Woo! I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry. I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. You okay, Fox? Yeah, let's show Monk some love. Night night, thanks for a bedtime storytelling. Alright, cool. Alright, let's go raid monks. Holy heck. Woo! I don't think I can. Oh my god. Have a good night. You have a good night. How about that? Oh my god. We're gonna go raid. I'm gonna go eat some snackies or something. And then read a manga or something. Watch my heat lose or something. I don't know about Route B, guys. Tomorrow we're starting Biomutant. God. Oh my god.
How you doing, man? 11 months. Damn. Oh my god. The double raid?